Guy Kai, or if you're of another culture, Kai. I don't know.
Kai? Who the Kai?
It's two eyes.
Who the is Kai?
I guess you wonder where I've been. Welcome to the show. Okay? Welcome to the show. It is your boy, Fly Guy Kai. Says it on the the chain, courtesy of my girl, aka the captain, aka the main character, the one and only. You can't hold me, you can't judge me. Alright. This is episode 28 of the main character podcast. And I'm sitting in my chair. Why? Because, well, I want to do something with the computer. Where, like, I'm showing two screens. I got the new tower should be more to handle it. For some reason, the older one, I couldn't, like, something was wrong with it. But thank God that I had enough funds to just get this new tower for the computer. I ain't got the super light up type towers and shit. We don't need that. We don't need none of that. You got your boy on here on the basics. Okay? Had a nice little trip, me and my girl, her sister, her boyfriend went out to Tennessee. Tennessee, baby. It was like a cross between Chattanooga, Tennessee and somewhere in Georgia. Funny thing too, because she has, not to diss Android phones, because some of them are nice, but just saying, her Android phone kept picking up on the two different time zones. And I just seen the TikTok I sent her too. It's the central time zone that most of Tennessee follows, but they also follow like the eastern time zone too. So I guess depending on where you're at, it kind of messes up like that. So, but yeah, Tennessee was cool. I know it's 2025, but whenever I travel somewhere, I still think, do they like black people? Because you never know. And when I'm on vacation, I don't want to have to look over my shoulder or think about dumbass shit. Like, what's this dumbass white person getting ready to do just because I look a certain way? No. But it was definitely friendly, definitely cool. We went up to the mountains. It was... Alright, so it was heavy rain. I guess like tornado warnings and stuff like that, but it was heavy rain. But where we were at in the Airbnb we were in, especially we got a good view of like, I don't know, there was like certain towns or something that we were able to see over the mountains, but that was by far the best place to be when in a storm like that. So I don't know, future thing, me and her might have to book something up in the mountains again, and we just, not the you never want to hope for bad weather, but that's one of the times where I would hope it's just raining, so we just definitely mellow, chill out, and just like watch movies in a cabin or something. I'm gonna have to steal her away. But besides that, let's get into my eye is killing me too. I don't know what the fuck happened. Let's get into the 3 checks, okay? The 3 checks, that's mental. Well, that's physical. No. I'm bugging, okay? I took too long away from this. That's spiritual, then physical, and then mental emotional. That's the difficulty from easiest to most difficult. The easiest one is because the first one being spiritual. I am a person who, I am not Christian, but I was raised up Christian. So while I don't see myself as a Christian by default, and just because I do have a strong belief in God, who is the almighty creator, and I have a belief in Yahshua, aka Jesus. But as I'm learning some stuff, like, his real name was Yahshua. It's like, oh, okay, so we just calling him a different name because white Greek said so. But yeah, faith is never in question. Get to the physical part. Your boy is out here bench pressing, mind you. The little handle shits. I still don't know the name of it, but it's the one where you got 2 handles. You get to light the plate. You get to put the plates on, and you just get to lift. Each arm is responsible for the weight that is put on there. I said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's see if I can reach to a max. I got up to about, and each of the arm things is about 10 pounds. So that adds on 20 pounds, whatever I put on. I put on there 350, and with 10 pounds extra, I'm pretty sure it's like 370. So I was able to bench press 370. All right. You know, and I did it for a couple of I did it for about eight reps. So I'm pretty, you know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to be a power lifter. I'm not trying to lift the world off my shoulders or anything like that. I'm just, when I go in there, honestly, me going to the gym, what gets me going is, one, I like to look good for myself. Like, I like to look in the mirror. Like, and this is sort of like mental and physical in a way. Like, I'm starting to love myself more and more, because a couple years ago, I really didn't love myself like that. I wouldn't let myself go crazy, but it was just one of those things where depression was really there, and it's just like, yo, you're not, you don't really love yourself like you're supposed to. Like, you ask me, like, do you love yourself? Like, and some people can say it without a hitch, like, yeah. But anyway, the physical part, one, I want to look good for me. Two, I want to look good for, my girlfriend. And, when you work out, you perform a lot of actions better. So working out, getting your heart going, getting your heart pumping is very good for you. Get out there, And besides that too, like, God willing that I can live to be 85, maybe a little bit over, but 85 is like a good, like, point. I want to be able to not have to rely too much on, like, physical help. Like, I want to be able to still move around, still, still do the things, okay? So you train today for how you want to last tomorrow, all right? Physical is good. Otherwise than that, the lifting is still good. Doing the Stairmaster, I'm trying to increase it every once in a while. So instead of doing 500, I'm going to shoot for 600 steps. And I just, like, every 2 minutes, I just increase the speed. Just one. All right, every 2 minutes, increase the speed by one. By that point, I'm not a super sweaty mess, but you know what I mean? The heart going nuts. Okay, going stupid down the avenue, stupid. And let's get to the mental emotional. All right, mental emotional times ahead. Actually, to tell you the truth, doing great. I don't know if I ever said that before, but doing great. I'm in a great space. Especially with the weekend getaway I was able to do with my girlfriend. Yeah, I'm actually in a pretty good space, which is definitely, I don't know, it's good for me. Good in general, but good for me, because it's not often that I will just find myself in a complete, like, I'm in a great type of space. Like, it's like I've always said, it's like an up and down thing, but the times that I do feel great, I do like to revel on that and be like, you know what? Go me. Okay? Go me. And go to people that definitely help me to feel great. All right? Maybe my number one fan. Wanna love you, girl. Wanna love you, girl. So yeah, that's the mental, emotional. Some a little extra. One thing is, with the mood that I've had, not even moods, I think it was just the way that I've been wired over the years, maybe because it was the military, or just like how certain things were just kicking my ass mentally. There was a thing where I did have to step back, because you have to wonder, do you treat people like NPCs? Okay? Like, do you treat people like they're background characters to your story, the game that is your life? And not so much that, like, yeah, people when you think about it in that aspect, it's like, yeah, there are people out here that are, just people in the background, but there's also like when you're thinking about it in terms of shows and stuff, the main cast. Like you got the people that are fillers in the background, whatever, or whatever you want to say the simulation is or something, or the NPCs in the game. But even in games, you still have a core cast there, and you besides the NPCs, people that really affect things, and the people closest to you will probably sometimes just feel like they're background characters. Now, in your own story, you are the main character, but there's also, like I said, the main cast. And main cast in shows you'll see it a lot. Like sometimes the main cast it gets spotlight. Why? Because they're there for a reason. They're the ones that are most effective, that are closest to you, that have much more of an effect. So they should be treated more than just people in the background, more than just filler, more than just background. And I was told that, and I kind of had to loom on it for a little bit, because when it comes to me, certain stuff that I do, I really don't do anything on purpose. Like I'll do some stuff and be completely ignorant to how other people feel. Not crazy stuff, but just like stuff where I may not show off the right emotion, or I'm not showing off the right response, if that makes sense. So I'm trying not to in that revelation, I'm trying not to not be so stoic and not be so emotionless, not be so much like a robot in a sense, and B, not treat the people I really care about like NPCs, because they're super important to me, whether I'm in the happiest part of my life or whether I'm in the downest part of my life. Still important. So work in progress, definitely, but it's gonna be work nonetheless that helps me in the long run. So cheers to enlightenment. That third eye opening up. Okay, I got a little scar right there, just like Harry Potter. Also, all right, I was bringing it up here. Now I gotta bring it down here because I don't know what it is. Maybe I am really like messed up a little bit, but I've been out of the military since June 6, 2013. I can remember from March 30th, 2010 to June 6th, 20. No, my bad. June 3rd, 2013. All right. I was there for 3 years, 2 months, and 14 days in the world's greatest Air Force. But first off, honorable discharge, but it's the way I left that A, has stuck with me for years, and B, I think affects me to the point where every now and again I'll have these dreams where I'm back in the military. Like I'm back in the military, I'm back in uniform somehow, or because I'm a disabled veteran. And it'll feel like for some reason, like they've given me a chance and I just immediately took it and went back to, there was one dream where I had where like I happily went back to basics so I could go back into the military. Or there was one where I had the uniform on and I knew like, yo, I used to be a disabled veteran, but now I'm out here at some base. And to be honest, some of the dreams, I wake up and it makes me type sad, because there are times where I'm like, damn, I do miss the military only because of how it was when I was in, at least how it was, the people I met, and just because I was used to that life. Like I was used to how things were running on a military sense. So there was like, it's probably like like one of the smallest parts of my mind is where I actually do miss it and do be there. And sometimes it's sad, like damn, I'm not there. And then sometimes it's scary, like oh shit, why am I back here? Like I should be out. Why am I back here? Why am I back in uniform? It's one of those weird type of dreams every time. I only brought that up because it was one time where it actually did like happen. I'm just like, yo, what am I doing here? Like I'm not supposed to be in uniform. Like I'm a disabled veteran. Like what happened? Like it. I don't. It could be there. That's not PTSD. It's something else. But it's just like jumping back into that through the dreams is just something that's like it'll affect me, and I'll just like remember for part of the day. Like, why the fuck am I having this dream? But anyway, getting past that, dreams are very, very powerful. Okay. It really be haunting me sometimes, or like I gotta wake up like, oh man, no, all right, I'm cool. I'm not in the dorms. Like I don't have to report in. I'm cool. And I used to be security forces, which is what the Air Force calls military policemen. So it's like, oh man, like I'm not armed up. I'm not. Like, sometimes I wake up and I'm sweaty. Sometimes I'm just like I open my eyes like, yo, like let me look around real quick. Let me touch something. Let me open a light. All right, cool. I'm in my bed. Weird times, man. The brain has such a weird effect on things. Oh man. Let's get into some stuff, okay? First off, TV stuff. Daredevil Born Again. Is it cooking? Is it cooking for you guys like it's cooking for me? Because I'm not going to hold you. Okay, so hearing stuff left and right, videos on it, I heard that the way that Daredevil, bringing it back, Daredevil Born Again, the way that it was supposed to kind of be at first was like, it'll be Daredevil, but it'll be leaning more towards the lawyerish side of Daredevil versus him majority of the time, like really, kicking ass and getting down. They probably like it got around early and people were doing some talks about it, like, hey, what the fuck are y'all doing? They probably heard some negative shit they didn't want to hear. So what they did was a couple of reshoots and a couple of characters like Foggy and the chick kind of left out of it. It was like, yo, hold on, the cast and everything was cool. We didn't even want the show to be canceled, but since y'all picked it up, we figured you were gonna bring back the cast. All right, we seen you was bringing back the Punisher, you was bringing back Kingpin, you was bringing back Daredevil. Bring back the other people. They did it in a way they did last minute reshoots. We won't know. You can feel some of it was like added on stuff, but that was the beginning, like the first 2 episodes. So I want to see if it continues through the show, if there's like spots where it picks up or something. But the 3rd episode was like, yo, they did a certain character. Well, the 1st episode they did a character dirty. The 3rd episode they really did my man's dirty. Okay, like yo. But all in all, it's good. It's good so far. I'm not bored. And in fact, this is a part where he's doing more of the like law and order type of stuff. But at the same time, the early thing what people were talking was it would kind of be like that. Like, yo, like it's Law and Order meets Daredevil because he's a lawyer, but he would do more defending like vigilantes or other superheroes and maybe doing some stuff on his own. And I mean, I'm not mad at it. If you do it compelling, because it's like in the Batman movies, right? We see the montage, we see the parents dying, and we see Batman go to kick ass at some point. But sometimes, which I don't want to say sometimes, I want to say a lot of times, he's the world's greatest detective, but we do not see detective parts. Like we don't see him having the gadgets that follow the footprints or the smells or the unique handwriting or something like this. Like, give me a little bit more detective. Like, make it well rounded. Yes, he kicks ass. He went around. He trained. Yada yada. Give me some more detective stuff, okay? Give me some more noir type Batman. In fact, bring me absolute Batman. I can't wait for a couple years to pass by. They build up on the absolute universe because, again, it is fire. And they start making movies out of that. Boy, absolute Superman is dope. Absolute Batman is dope. Absolute Wonder Woman is fire. I cannot wait for absolute Green Lantern. Green Lantern is my type of character. I am not... If I had to say which one was my favorite superhero, it's Green Lantern. When I scope it down even more, like specifically, it's Jon Stewart. Sorry. Jon Stewart. Second one up is Kyle Rayner. Am I a super, I know all the facts type of nerd when it comes to Green Lanterns? No. Do I have a whole line of Blackest Night and Brightest Day hardcover books? Yes. Because that was a dope thing when it came out. But no, I can't wait for that. Bringing it back to Daredevil. Daredevil's cooking. Disney does tend to... You can see the difference between Netflix shows and Disney shows. Disney tends to Disney-fy some things, but they got to know they can let loose, okay, on some things. Not everything has to be for kids, or not everything has to have, like, swears or something in it, or, you know, like, dog. You got teens, too, that watch it also, so it ain't just the kids that you got to worry about. You got to worry about, you know, your multifaceted audience, your multi-aged audience. Make it good for everybody, all right? Leaning into, and I want to consider Avatar: The Last Airbender anime. All right, I want to consider it anime, but I'm going to talk about a little bit about what's considered that. I am on episode 19. I'm almost done with the first season because I think it's only 20 episodes. The last episode was the siege on the Northern Water Tribe. Once again, watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's always been a good show to me. It's always been a good show no matter how many years. And this shit came out in like, what, 2006? 2004, 2006? Still holds up. People still talk about it today just because of how dope it was. Korra was dope too. Everybody... she loses all her battles. Do you see in the way in which she loses? And then even though she loses, technically the job gets done when she comes back. I don't know if people know this, but in real life, you're not gonna win 100% of the battles that you fight. All right? Stick this into your memory. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. And sometimes plans go out the window. Especially if you're not used to getting punched in the face. But even then, when you're used to it and you still get punched in the face, you get caught with a good one. You go, oh. Like, it throw you off. Oh, what the hell? So, listen, that's different. We're going to go back to Avatar: The Last Airbender. You get to see, and spoilers, by the way, for a show that came. All right. Side note, we gotta have a limit to how we say spoilers, okay? Because if a show came out, this show came out like fucking 20 years ago. There's a limit to before people can get pissed off. Like, oh man, it's spoilers, nigga. This show came out 20 years ago. If you wanted to see it, you'd have been saw it. You didn't see it. It's kind of on you. Maybe you've been in a cave, or maybe it just wasn't up your alley. Okay, maybe you just weren't checking it out. You didn't watch TV that much. It's cool. I do give the spoiler warning there. But even when I do some spoilers, you're going to want to watch it because it's that good. You see Aang. Okay, you see Aang, this 12-year-old kid that ran away. As you learn the whole story, you get the story of Aang, 12-year-old kid, told he was going to be the most powerful person in the world. And he has the biggest job, which is not only establishing balance amongst the people, amongst the 4 nations, but also balance in between the physical and the spiritual. As a 12-year-old kid. But everybody starts treating you different because they know who you are, and you have to go right away to start going around the world training and being the guy that you're supposed to be. But you're told early as hell. Usually people get told when they're the Avatar at 16. He got told at 12 because the Air Nomads knew, hey, something is happening. We kind of need you to start training now. First off, if the Air Nomads knew, yes, it's spoilers. If the Air Nomads knew what was going to happen or had some semblance, then they should have had some semblance of a fucking plan. That's just me. You knew something was looming around. You gotta be proactive. That's another tidbit, dog. If you're hearing some things, don't be reactive, be proactive. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're reactive, then it's kind of too late by that point. Yeah, you can get some, you can, combat or fend off some of the stuff, but you would fend off a lot more things if you were proactive. Okay, if you did things to prepare yourself for anything that could happen. That's why it's always good to be proactive. Okay, but Aang was told he was getting ripped away by Monk Gyatso, which is pretty much like his father figure, best friend. Dipped off. He's like, man, I need to run out of here. I don't know about this. He dipped off into a big ass storm, was having second thoughts like maybe I should go back, but it was too late and got his ass caught in there. But luckily his avatar state saved him, and that's how he ended up in Iceberg. You see the main cast, right? And the main cast does include Zuko, Aang, Katara, Sokka, Zuko, Iroh, because Iroh is there most of the time. So you do see this main cast and how they go from the first episode versus the last one. Iroh's there, being the greatest uncle and pretty much the greatest father figure that Zuko never had, or Zuko should have had. Zuko is, how do I say this? He's starting to change. Zuko's starting to change in a different kind of way. Sokka, he's changing certain ways about himself, and he's understanding certain ways about himself. Plus, you get to really appreciate, or not appreciate, but you get to discover things about Sokka. Like, working on that leadership, like from the first episode to seeing him now, he does have that mindset. He has that tactical mindset. He is an actual genius because a couple of people have talked about him like that. He shows it off. Low-key a ladies' man. Okay, low-key a ladies' man. Definitely started out sexist, but he was in, I'm knocking everything over, in this enclosed, like, mindset. And actually, when you get to the North Pole, you see, like, it was kind of a cultural thing, because it wasn't just the South, it was the North too, where they kind of had this like thing going on where women can't do shit. Even if you know how to bend water, you need to go be a healer. You're not allowed to bend like the men do. But Sokka going through this adventure, like learning to not only appreciate women for doing more than just women stuff. Kind of a ladies' man, you know what I mean? Kind of a ladies' man with Suki, and then the princess Yue. Sokka's the guy. And not only that, Sokka, he may not be as capable yet. He may not be as capable, but he will fight. You're like, listen, I might lose, but I ain't gonna leave you hanging. He don't want to fight every battle. He don't want to fight senseless battles. In fact, he wants to avoid that much as possible. But when things happen, he gonna grab the boomerang. He's gonna grab the tooth-looking sword that he's got. He gonna get down to it. He gonna put the face paint on. He gonna get to it. Katara, strong-willed and a great bender, and she's staying 10 toes down. She's not taking no dumb shit, and she gonna go for what she want. Just like when she stole that scroll. And just like when she made it to the North, niggas were telling her, hey, you're a woman, stay in a woman's place. And she said, no, Like she went to go try it first and was like, you know what? Nah, this ain't suiting me. No, I'm out here. You fight me so I can show you just how bad I am. And not bad is worse, but bad meaning good. And she fared. She fared really good. You've seen the girl from when she was first like, hey, look, I can do this whole like water thing, and how she was bending the water, but not too adept at it. To where you get now in episode 19, where this whole time that she's been traveling, like her and Aang have been getting good at it. Aang is the Avatar, so of course he's going to be naturally good. But Katara, for not being an Avatar, is an exceptional bender. And even when she finally gets the praise of this bending master in the North, he's like, yo, you're a great bender. And when she finally gets to train with him, he's like, yo, you're better than all my students. Like, the students didn't want no smoke with Katara. Even Aang at certain points really don't want smoke with Katara when it comes to water bending. She is who she is. If it wasn't for that extra boost that he kind of gets with the being the Avatar, no, he would be smoked. Yes. Aang, once again, he is starting to come into more of what it means to be the Avatar and be the mediator and be the balance, but at the same time he's also discovering the weight of what it means to be the Avatar and learning these elements. But also, he's a fucking kid. And not a little kid in the sense, like, he's not like a 5-year-old. He's not a 9-year-old. He's 12. So even though we say kid, it's still, he's old enough to like, yo, you can start snapping into some stuff. He's got a little bit of discipline, but he doesn't have a lot of discipline. Because when it came to firebending, he wasn't careful in burning Katara. When it comes to waterbending, he's good, but he's still like not taking things too seriously. Like even when the bending master is like, yo, all you're doing is just playing with your animals. You're good at you're powerful at bending the elements. But again, just like with Admiral Zhao, and John was talking to him about it, like, yo, I had a guy who had mad potential and was very powerful, but he had no balance in himself. He didn't want to go through the steps. He just wanted to boom, boom, boom. None of the technique. You might end up like that. And that's a very big weakness. Because if you don't have technique and you don't bend like you're supposed to, you don't take it seriously, somebody could discover that flaw and take advantage of it. That's what Aang has to realize. You have to realize this before it's too late. Take this shit seriously. It's getting down to the nitty gritty. Your boy Zhao then raised up from just being Captain Zhao all the way to Admiral Zhao. And trying to do big things. And spraying Zuko all the time because Zuko beat his ass that first time when he challenged him to Agni Kai. And since John was like, yeah, that was my student, but he had no composure. He didn't want to like learn the steps. It was just nothing but firebend. You can see it. You can see how he lost that fight with Zuko. And Zuko took pity on him too. But you can see how he lost that. And you could see like the type of person he is. That type of person doesn't find success for long. It just doesn't. That's just in stories. That's just how it goes. He's the fall character. I want to also say that not growth, but Iroh, you learn more about Iroh. Not only do you learn like, yo, his son is dead, but again, it's just he looks at Zuko like Zuko is his own son. Your dad made you, but I care about you way more than your father. Iroh, yo, if Zuko said, man, I want to get out this, I want to go be a farmer or something like that, Iroh would more than likely go, like, you know what, man? You want an easy life? Let's go get that easy life. He's 100% down for Zuko. The touching moment when he hugs him before he's going to do this solo mission up in the North Pole. He's like, yo, like, I'm just worried about you and I care about you because I lost my son, but I see a lot of my son in you, and like, I love you like you're my own son. So I don't want anything bad to happen to you. I just want to make sure you're okay. He gives him a hug, and while Zuko's leaving, is like, listen, remember your breathing. Wear your hood. It's cold out there. Like, make sure you watch your back. I'll try to meet up with you as much as possible. Just being like that protector. And that's why Iroh, to be honest, probably top 5 characters overall. Because if you want to talk about bending too, Iroh is definitely up there. And I can see Iroh in his younger days being a top tier firebender. Super top tier firebender. And he's more than capable. Even without firebending. Because when he got caught slipping by the Earth Kingdom soldiers from Omashu. Was it Omashu? Omashu or Bon 6A? One of them. But when he got caught slipping and Zuko caught up and it was, trying to have this fight, he had nothing but like these chains around his arms or whatever. And he was dishing out that work. So just like Zuko is good at armed and unarmed combat, so is Iroh. But he's top 5 characters with the 4 being over him being the main 4. Toph is going to come later, but Aang and Katara and Sokka. Oh, wait a minute. He might just be top 6 because then you got Zuko too. That's a discussion for another time. Just know that Iroh is top of the top. All in all, Avatar: Last Airbender is going good. I'm enjoying the rewatch. Slightly, I'm also rewatching the Justice League. I know Justice League old. Yo, Justice League is old. I have to say, it's old as hell now. Not old as hell, just old. But the animation still holds up. One of the best cartoons that were ever made. Under Batman the Animated Series. Just because of the core essence that it captured. With each of the characters, each of the Justice League members. And even going to the Justice League Unlimited, when you had more people to incorporate and they found a way to still deliver the same type of appreciation for each character and the same type of respect for each character too. It's just one of them things like I gotta come back and watch to it. I'll probably be like fucking 60 and 70 and still watching Justice League from time to time. Like, you know how like people start watching I don't know, like old black and white cowboy shows or something like that. That might be your boy. Like, yo, what is this animation? We'll probably be on fully computerized shit. And all I hear is that. Why are you watching that again? Like, back in my day, this show was top tier, all right? This show was what we call heat, gas, flame, the whole stove. All right? Okay, getting out of the realm of cartoons, animated. After the Last Airbender, you know what? Because what anime is, manga classified as being, for some reason, like it's classified as being made like in Japan, but then Korean studios kind of do animate a lot of the anime. And they also have something too called manhwa, which is like Korean comic books. Manga is literally just Japanese comic books. Comic books are comic books. Then you have I forgot what it's called in China, because they have their own something that sounds like manhwa. But I guess it not being made in Japan, it doesn't count as manga. But then you have people who, like Saturday AM, for example, it's a multi-diverse type of manga company, manga studio, where there's people from like Nigeria and Ireland and like these different places that make their own manga and push it out. Like I gotta work on getting the 5th one, but I have 4 of one that's called Apple Black. And what drew me to it was the fact that the person that drew it, he's a Nigerian creator. But also his art style reminds me of Bleach. It reminds me of Bleach, but then it also reminds me of like him putting a little spin on it. And that's why they say like, yo, good artists copy, but great artists steal. You gotta research it to know the exact like meaning behind the phrase, because it's not like, yo, just steal everything. It's like, no, like these ideas, like you kind of like steal them and rework them to be your own. Okay, so people can say, oh, that reminds me of such and such, but it's still their own. So, but now because there's a generation of people that grew up on watching anime that have been affected by it, and you can see it in certain cartoons now, certain animation products now, where you see the influence of either the cartoons being more, cartoons aren't dumb anymore. Cartoons before were like nothing but just Goofy and Looney Tunes and all this, but now there's stuff with more story to it. There's more focus, a little bit more action. It doesn't treat, some of it doesn't treat kids stupid. Like it treats them like regular people that can learn, that can actually comprehend and learn a lesson. You definitely see that influence from around the way. Um, we don't want to go into the next topic. Here's the thing, and I seen it because somebody else was talking about it too. 10 anime to suggest to new watchers. Think about that for a minute. Like, you don't, and I'm looking at my board too when I look over here. Like 10 anime to suggest to new watchers. Like people that have like, maybe I seen this or maybe I seen that, but otherwise than that, they're completely noob to the whole anime scene. Cause my girl's kind of new to it. And I suggested something that was called oh my god, was it ID Invaded? I think so. But even then, like sometimes she'll still chime in and like see me watching something, be like, oh, what's that? And she'll just like start watching it too. But first is like classifications. Like maybe what type of genre do you like? Do you like romantic stuff? Do you just want straight action? Do you want action with the story, with the plots? Excuse me. Do you want something more on the, there's like shonen and seinen and shoujo, and there's different classifications of what you want, like the horror genre versus like, do you want it ultra violent where they're showing blood? You want some violence where they're just kicking some ass? Do you, maybe you want your kids to watch some anime, so you need some more kid friendly type, they're preteens, you need those. You maybe like it depends on the audience. Do you want to, like, does it matter how many seasons it has if it gets you to the first? Because if it gets you with the first season, then you should be hooked, right? If it gets you if it gets you by the first season, then you're gonna stay and watch it, no matter if it has 25 episodes, which is like a short anime, or if it has 1,000 and some episodes like One Piece, which, okay, so that type of number will throw you off. Like, oh man, it's 1,000 and some episodes. Like, how am I gonna catch up? I wouldn't look at it though as much as so far like catching up as it is just, it's a new anime, and if it's dope, you're gonna continue to watch it anyway. And in fact, because there's so many episodes, you're not gonna run out of something to watch for a long time. So the number, it shouldn't matter. It's more so the material. Like if you get hooked onto it, you won't care. Just like a good book. Like if a book is like big as hell, like, you know, those Harry Potter books are big as fuck. I remember seeing those as a kid, and I'm like, you know, why would anybody want to read those? And then you kind of see the movies that give you like a taste of the book. Like, okay, if it's like this, then I can see people just like still flipping through and through the book and like getting that enjoyment from it. So, I mean, if you can only base it off the first season, does that count? And on top of that, would would suggesting anime movies be a better insight? Because I tell you right now, not all the Miyazaki films, but even though the Miyazaki films were made a while back, the production on there, how everything's drawn, how pretty it looks, how easy it is to follow the story, the adventure in the films, like I kind of would suggest something like that. Even outside of Miyazaki, like something like Red Line, which is a whole racing movie, but the shit was like the animation style was different. It was edgy. It was cool. Then you have Jujutsu Kaisen, Zero, which was like a prequel type of movie to what Jujutsu Kaisen is now. My girl watched that one. She was like, "Oh, I remember seeing this. Like, yo, I watched this before." Certain people, like the popular ones, maybe if they have a movie, it's kind of easy to get into. That one was more so like it didn't reveal anything in the future per se because it was dealing with something that was kind of past tense. Yeah, because would movies be a better gateway into anime? And if you didn't want to be spoiled, then you just suggested like again, like Your Name, which was it's an anime movie that there's no other anime to it. Like it's not tied to an anime. It's that movie. I think there's a couple other ones too, and it's just like they're beautiful. That's the only way to suggest it. Like they're beautiful tales. But I want to try something, and hopefully again the video don't mess up. Okay. So what I typed in was 10 anime recommended. Let's just peruse around. Let's see what it is. Cowboy Bebop, excellent one. I reviewed it over on TikTok. I'll plug it in. Fly Guy Kai. You know what I mean? But it's a short anime, which again, if you're looking for a short anime that's good, it's got a good story, easy to follow, good characters, classic, Cowboy Bebop. It's only like 25, 26 episodes. Mind you, each anime episode is relatively 22, 23 minutes long. Because with commercials and stuff, it would be 30. But otherwise than that, easy. You could knock out like 3 episodes in 1 hour. Super easy to follow. Let me see, these are often recommended, covering a range of genres. So yeah, and plus it's like a space western type thing. Attack on Titan, probably one of the best animes. It's not in my top 10 or top 20 or something. You know what it was for me? I watched it when it was first starting to come out, and it took so long to get the rest out, and they were kind of like bullshit when like here's like the final season, part A, part B of one, A, B, 1, 2. It started to kill me with that, and I kind of fell off of it. Like, I know what happens now because of the manga, because people covering it, but Attack on Titan, in a sense, it was like, yo, there's these giant ass titans that look like they're pretty much giant naked people, and you had this secluded place that, they got these walls up, and you're trying to figure out, okay, what's going on? People are freaking out. And what's more is the people that can combat these titans have these rappel like ropes attached to their hips. ODS gear is what they call it, but it's like it repels and it swings them around almost like Spider-Man, but a little bit better. Like more Spider-Man cross Batman. And they have these blades that they use to cut specific parts of the titans down to defeat them. But you can be overrun. Like, these are worse than zombies. Because some of these titans, they do the slow walk, but some of them run and get at you. And they're coming for that. They're coming for that. Okay? They see what they want. They gonna come get it, and it's gonna be this type of smile, and they do that shit. And when they they get you, dog. You looking for something like that with like a crazy story, and you see like the main character's transformation that in the end makes you question, was that the right thing or was that the wrong thing? Do you stand with him? Like, it's like at first it's like, okay, do you stand with the main character? Cool. Then you get to the next season. You stand with the main character? Cool. Then you start getting to these other seasons. Like, do you still stand with the main character? You know, do you still stand with Aaron Yeager after everything? Especially when you learn what happened, what's going on, why they're in that predicament. Mm-hmm. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. There's two Full Metal Alchemists. There's one that they had that they didn't follow the manga per se because, if I'm not mistaken, the manga wasn't finished. So it's one of those series where they kind of had to make the ending. They got the notes, but they kind of had to animate and make the ending their own. And then when the manga was finally finished, they went back and said, "Fuck it, we're going to follow the manga bar for bar. Okay, we gonna follow the scriptures." And Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is in my. I did put Full Metal and not Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood just because of what staying up on Saturdays and waiting for Full Metal Alchemist to come on meant to me. So I have it up there over Brotherhood for that. But otherwise than that, I will say, as far as story and following things, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is better. But yes, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Edward and Alphonse Elric, the Elric brothers. You have one who's in a big ass suit of armor that you might have always seen, and then you have one who has this metal arm, this metal leg, and their goal is to try and get their bodies back to the way they were because they did something they weren't supposed to do, and they are alchemists. And if you just Google alchemist, in this world is like magic, but it's not at the same time because there's a thing called equivalent exchange, which I'm not gonna hold you because there's some things in anime where you just learn lessons and then some things you live by. And that part about equivalent exchange, I kind of live by that because equivalent exchange is in the name. What you put in, what you want to get out is what you have to put in. And that's what all things in life. You want to be a good artist, you have to put in the practice. You want to be a good writer, you got to put in the practice. You want to be a stocks analyst. You want to get better at your job. You want to get better at parenting, stuff like that. Got to put in the work. Equivalent exchange. Definitely good. And that was not too long. If I'm standard corrected. Hold on, because now I'm also gonna look up these episodes. Let me look through. In fact, I'm gonna create a whole different one just so I can go ahead and let me see. Metal Alchemist Brotherhood TV series. Let me see how many episodes. 51 episodes. Yeah. So I classify short anime as like 25 or 26 episodes and below. But 51 isn't that bad. Again, compared to a lot of other shows, that's a good watch. That'll take you, if you fully dedicated, you got the time, it'll take you like 2 weeks max. If you don't got the time, but you like, yo, I could probably peep an episode. Mind you, again, 22 minutes. You could peep like an episode or two a day. Still, you would get it done in a reasonable amount of time. That's not bad. Hunter x Hunter. There's two versions. There's the OG version, like super OG, and then there's one that had like newer animation from it. Hunter x Hunter does get praise from a lot of people, especially because you've got the Hunter exam. Mind you, this is like a tale where it's like, it's not only just, it's gone, and he's on this adventure to kind of go find his father. His father was something called a hunter. And in order to be a hunter, you got to go take an exam, but that exam opens up a whole new possibility. And there's things that people remember fondly that they harp on about this One, of course, is the hunter exam, but another one is the magic system that they have in here, which magic system in fiction, in stories, magic system is basically just power system. If people are using powers, how are they doing it? Magic system in Harry Potter is easily magic, but the magic system in Dragon Ball Z is mostly key. The power system in Pokemon is Pokemon. Stuff like that. Power system in here is Nen. And Nen was following like 6 different aspects, but it had like a good chart that detailed like this power is here, this power is here. Everybody has a basic type of Nen that they're good at, and they may be able to learn the others in some way. But if there's something that's totally opposite, you are not really able to learn that shit at all because it's your opposite. But there's a whole like, I wonder if there is like an equivalency type of thing when it comes to Nen. I gotta look at that more. But it's just a system that everybody likes. Like they think it's the best power system because of how it's explained. But then you also have the Ant arc, and then you also have Gon going nuclear. I'm just gonna leave it with this. This nigga at one point got so pissed that his power aged him to be at the peak where he could just kill shit. That's how pissed he was. Mind you, this was like a Bleach, and Bleach ain't up here neither. Man, I don't know about this list. Personally, that's biased because I love Bleach. But Bleach had a point where it was like a final form where he powered up crazy. But once you done with this form, nigga, your power is just gone. So this had to be the ultimate sacrifice type of move. So Hunter x Hunter, yeah, I can recommend a little more, a couple of episodes. Let's see. Let me look that up for you. Hunter x Hunter. Damn, they don't show the episodes up front. 62 episodes. Nah, I don't know about that. Cause I don't know if this is the older one or not. I think the older one. You know what? This might have been the newer one too. Because I don't remember having that many chapters neither. Or well, not that many, but no. I might be bugging. Please tell me I'm bugging. Yeah, I'm bugging. I was like, hold on. Because I remember it taking a while. 26, 12, 20. Agreed Island was like a little like side note, but. So, but you can see the math. You see the math. It's like damn near over 100 episodes. Definitely something where it's like, hey, I want a little lengthier type of anime show. Got a good amount of violence too. When I say peep it, definitely peep it. My Hero Academia, new on the scene. If you like, a lot of people like superhero, regular comics. Okay, you like your Batman, Superman, your Spider-Man. My Hero, you like the superhero stuff, it's for you. It's basically following this kid who, they call him Midoriya. Or a lot of people just call him Deku. But Deku, he was a kid where in this world, a majority of people are born with some type of power. Think about mutants, but all over the place. And you being the odd one out is the special case. Like if you're a normal person with no type of abilities whatsoever, no matter how minuscule, kind of like the weird one. Izuki Midoriya is like Deku, he has the spirit and he wants to. He was like, man, maybe my power comes later. Maybe it comes later. No, he's never gonna have power. Cool, but he's just been so eager to be the one to try and help someone. And he gets a power in a certain way that's related to someone who is not only the symbol of being a superhero, but his favorite superhero. So now he's navigating in this world of where he always wanted to be. And not only that, he's trying to live up to, his superhero, his idol, which is All Might. It's a funny name, and is the way he looks like super like haha, it's me American. Even the attacks like Detroit Smash and United States of Smash and stuff like that. But he's super legit strong. I'm talking punching the air and making tornadoes, or punching the air so hard you change the weather. That type of power. And Deku, I don't want to ruin it too much. Just know, like, My Hero Academia is for like the comic booky type of people. Like, you want to see like a superhero anime. This one is it. A more jokey one is One Punch. One Punch Man is the more jokey one because the guy is so overpowered that it literally only takes him one punch. But there's stuff that happens around the whole thing too. That's actually not bad. Second season was kind of meh. The third season though, they about to pick it up. So let me see. My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen. I was talking about it earlier. Listen, Jujutsu Kaisen is supernatural anime, and you follow a kid who gets ready to be part of if you don't know by now, what anime likes to do is have these trio of teams, and a trio of teams usually consist of two guys, one girl. Not only that, but you have the one in the group, like kind of like the main character, who is very ambitious, very upbeat, has all the energy, has something to prove, wants to get into the action, wants to be that guy. Then you got the guy who's too cool for school, who's kind of laid back, or he's got a different type of power. Maybe it's a little darker. And then, of course, you have the girl in the group who could be anything. She could be too soft. She could be the one that's on edge, or is like the firecracker, or super sweet, something like that. And in Jujutsu Kaisen, you have Itadori, main character, different colored hair. Which again, different colored hair, probably gonna be something. And he's in this predicament where he has this demon inside of him because of something he ingested. He now has this super powerful demon inside of him that can take over, but he's doing a good job resisting. But they need to get rid of this demon since he's on the verge of coming back, specifically because of what happened with Itadori. So not only does he have to find these other items to collect in one place to help bring the person back, but they also have to try and kill the demon that's inside of him. But you got it's basically he's going to a school where he's training to be like an exorcist, like handling all the demonic spirits that are coming out that are affecting people. Like, he's in that type of school where they go to handle shit like that. Oh, not really like Bleach, because don't nobody got like a special weapon, but they do have special abilities that help to combat these things. But these demons that are showing up, or these spirits, man, they are putting the main cast of characters through it. But definitely, if you want a show that's supernatural and has that action, the story in Jujutsu Kaisen is easy to follow. Like, no bullshit. It's easy to follow. You're looking for something like that where you definitely do get the action. By all means, go ahead, watch it. It's popular for a reason. And this is not yet. It's very popular for a reason. You got another one, Haikyuu. Haikyuu is the volleyball team. I haven't seen Haikyuu in a minute though. I fell off Haikyuu a little bit, but that doesn't mean it wasn't good. It's just I fell off a little bit because I think there was a time where a new season was supposed to start coming out, and I've watched a lot of anime. So once another anime starts taking over and another one, you kind of forget about this one. Haikyuu is more of it's a sports one. It's a volleyball one. This kid that is very short. Like, he's super short, but he's got bunnies, he's got hops, and he's got dreams. He's seen somebody that the something king that they called him or whatever, but he's seen somebody playing volleyball and he got inspired, and he finally gets a chance to go to a school and play volleyball, where you would kind of count him out because of his height. You see his heart, you see his hops, and him along with the other cast of characters as they're going against these teams and like learning these lessons of who can do what and expanding your ability, stuff like that. You want a good sports anime? That's up your alley. Like Haikyuu is, and again, not difficult, cool. Well, I didn't explain it. My Hero Academia is in like its 7th season, but again, it's not hard to follow. These are 22 minutes, 23 minutes per episode. You're good. Jujutsu Kaisen, I think this is the 3rd season. Jujutsu Kaisen. Let's see. Let's go. 47 episodes. Not bad at all. Yeah, and just got done with the 2nd season. That's an easy pickup. That's an easy pickup for you in case you're like, yo, I don't want to be left out. Like, I gotta hurry up and catch up to it. It won't take you that long to catch up to it. Mob Psycho 100 is actually complete. Cowboy Bebop's complete. Attack on Titan complete. Fullmetal Alchemist is complete. Hunter x Hunter, the manga isn't complete. So if the manga's not complete, and this isn't one of those ones where they're just gonna try and like, we'll animate it, and then when the manga comes out, we'll do something later. Like, nah, they just didn't animate anymore. Are they gonna animate anymore? Honestly, I don't think so. Because the mangaka, what you call him, is not doing the best with his health. Like, it takes, like, side note, it takes a real toll on people who are mangaka, who are the people, because not only are they making the story, but they're also drawing too. Like, they're drawing the panels. It's not like regular comic books where you'll have someone doing the story and a different person or a different set of people that are handling the illustrations. No, it's a one-stop shop for manga artists. Now, when it gets to anime, you get other people to do all the animation, handling stuff, and copying the styles. But as far as just being a mangaka alone, you got to prove yourself by drawing it and writing. So hopefully it gets to a new point where like the mangaka is like, yo, like, I got chocolate, I got peanut butter, Reese's. It definitely would help. But yeah, Hunter x Hunter more than likely is not gonna get finished. My Hero Academia is not finished yet. The manga is done, but now they've got a lot of time to animate it and they don't have to guess the ending. Jujutsu Kaisen, again, I just showed you, is still going on, even though the manga has ended. So maybe if you didn't want to wait and you was like, yo, I want to go read up on this, by all means, go ahead, it's complete. Haikyuu, if I'm not mistaken, Haikyuu's finished and they had a movie. But that movie's more so like towards like the finish the series first, then watch the movie. Mob Psycho 100 is complete. And Mob Psycho is, the main character is Mob. And what it is like, he is a very strong, like, esper, which is called like people with like psychic abilities, like telekinesis, telepathy, stuff like that. He's really working for this guy who's supposed to be like his master, his mentor on how to use his powers. But the nigga has no powers at all. Mob doesn't know that, and he's just being taken advantage of in a certain way. But at a certain point, Mob is just like, man, I'm here so that way, you know, I not only work, but you know, this is my master, this is my boss right here, this is my guy. The funny thing is, he's a super powerful esper, and Mob Psycho 100 is like, he has an emotional percentage in the show, and if he ever gets to 100%, he's going fucking nuclear. Okay, and it's dope. The drawing style, it's from the same person that did One Punch Man, so you're going to get the, what do you call it, slapstick humor. I don't know, you're gonna get some humor in there, but you're also gonna get a good amount of action. regardless of how the animation style looks, it's still dope. To me, it's still dope. I like Mob Psycho 100. It don't be on people's radar like that, I guess, because it maybe because of the drawing style or whatever, but it had a good amount of anime. And it's pretty solid. That one you could watch and it's complete. Let me do you justice. Mob Psycho. Be well. Hello again, friend of a friend. I knew you were. 37 episodes, 2 overs. That's light work. You got that. Listen, you got it. All right, that's easy. That's easy work. To tell you the truth, I didn't think it was only 37 episodes. I thought it was more. Death Note, one of those ones they bring up constantly. Is it for a reason? Absolutely. Death Note, you want something more serious, something more a little darker, but it's got that little noir detective type of thing. First, you know what? To get it out the way, let me show you how many episodes there is. Because you get the main character who gets this book. And this book, if you happen to write a person's name in it, then they die. Now, you can write a specific way in there that they die, and they will die in that exact specific way. But either way, they die. And this guy decides that in a twisted sense of justice, Light Yagami, main character, but you just call him Light, he's going to get rid of criminals in the best way that he can. But with doing that, it raises eyebrows. Like, why the fuck are people dropping off? And that's what attracts this detective. This little brooding guy right here. There's always an opposite. If there's a bright-haired character that's the main protagonist, there's always going to be the opposite. Like either the rival or the antagonist for the story. He's gonna have dark hair. It is what it is. What's the name? So yeah, once he does that, this nigga right here is by far one of the smartest minds and a very good detective when it comes to it. So much so, like, he's one of those like weird people that's like super standoffish, and he sits like that in a chair, but he'll get you some results. And because of the shit that was going on, they couldn't figure out what happened. They brought him on the case, and he's on his ass pretty much the whole time. Like L doesn't know specifically who Light is or whatever, but what was it? Kita is what he kind of calls himself. And it's just him having this like crazy amount of justice. And this is the Shinigami that like dropped the book and was like, listen, I'm sticking with you for the long haul until, until some stuff happened. But yeah, him, the way that he does things and then how he's trying to do it so that way he gets away with it. And L just being on his ass the whole time. It's a good type of noir, dark type of anime. So if you're into that, you good. And not only that, you can watch it on Netflix if you want to, you know what I'm saying? And nah, come on, B. You know what I want. I'm trying to help by telling you how many episodes there are. And it shit came out in 2006 and people still talk about it. That's how you know this shit was kind of heat. 37 episodes. Light work. Even though I won't call it a short anime, I will call it light work. It is essentially a short anime, but again, I have my classification. So I'll just classify this as light work. And if I'm not mistaken, it's split into two. Either it was split into 2 seasons, or they took a while between one of them. Part 2. There we go. You can look at it as like part 1, part 2 as like season 1, season 2. What else they got on here? Code Geass. Ooh, baby. A more detailed look at each. I probably could have just read this shit. Code Geass, a mech anime about a young man who gains the power to command soldiers and change the world. Yeah. Code Geass Lelouch v. Britannia. Britannia was like this like mock-up of like America and all this other shit, and it was like America's doing what it's doing, which is being a colonizer in this futuristic type of time, trying to spread this reign over to Japan. You got this character, Lelouch v. Britannia, who wants to take revenge on, wants to take revenge on all of Britannia. His father is like the head of it, and like he wants to take revenge on all that shit. He wants all that shit done. He wants to stage a rebellion, and he also like gets the help of these people who they call 11s, but they're Japanese. But these niggas came over and said, you know what? Now you guys are 11 because you guys are like the 11th place we took over. So you don't even get like a rightful type of thing anymore. We're just gonna give you a number. Yeah, niggas gotta fight back. And what makes him so special is that he ran into this green hair girl he's called Cece, and she's given him, for helping out, she's given him this power where he's able to, if somebody like, if he gets their eyes on them and like looks at them eye to eye, he's able to tell them to do a specific thing and they cannot resist no matter what. They have to do exactly what he does. The only catch is, and a slight spoiler, but the only catch is he can only give them one type of command that they have to follow. So if you tell somebody like, yo, when I tell you to look left, and they could do that all day. But if you try to go back and tell them like, yo, when I tell you to look right, they're going to look at you like, why would I do that? Who the fuck are you? They're like, oh, look left. And they go to look left. The command is still there. It's just, you have to strategically know what you want these people to do. And not only that, but again, it involves mech. Something they call nightmares. And these nightmares are pretty much the Gundams of the Code Geass world. So you're using that to fight back with the whole Japanese resistance movement, and with the help of like the green hair girl, like trying to find out how she's able to do this, why it's connected to Lelouch, where's the father, what's going on in the Britannia army, and like how Lelouch goes to get this revenge. Definitely recommended. That's a good. So they, it's been spot on with this list. I will say that because I wanted to see what the top 10 were. It's been spot on. There are 2 seasons for Code Geass. Okay, I didn't just watch it. I think I watched the Code Geass Rose or Rose. It was alright. Not my cup of tea. As the older generation says, 25 episodes. Short anime. Come on. You want to get into some shit? Short Cowboy Bebop, short anime. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, just light work, and the Hunter x Hunter is kind of long. The other ones are kind of long, but if you're looking for something like you want to catch up and you want to be in the popular spotlight, Jujutsu Kaisen doesn't have too many episodes. Mob Psycho doesn't have too many. Death Note, Code Geass, stuff like that, yeah. And then I'll run through, like, if I didn't talk about it up there, then I'll look at these real quick and say whether or not. And then I could wrap it up from there. All right. Whenever Death Note, Fullmetal Alchemist, One Piece, I was talking about it earlier. Long ass anime, but it is good. I will say that. It's a story that what Oda, the mangaka, will do is he'll put some stuff in the beginning that you'll be like, okay, cool, that's in there, that you won't think about until you get to later parts and it's connected to that. And more stuff starts connecting as you go. So if you like stuff like that, you like big adventures, a unique cast, it's about pirates, but it's taking a flip where, like, in the normal world, you would, and this is the last one I'll more so explain, but in a normal world, you root against the pirates. You root for the people that are going after pirates, would essentially people who deal with sea, which is like the Navy, something like that. One Piece it's flipped. You're rooting for the pirates and you're rooting against what they call, in this one, they call the Navy, they call them the Marines. So it's a little different, but still a good take. Let's see. I can't wait. Bebop, Cookie Ass Monster. I haven't seen Monster personally, but I did hear a lot of things about a lot of good things. It's like a darker, more serious type of anime. I don't think it's that long neither. So if you're looking for a short one that's got like a more serious tone, or Naruto Shippuden, you always hear about the big three, and this includes Naruto too. Naruto Shippuden, because Shippuden is a continuation. Ninjas, special talents, but you got a guy, you got a kid that wants to be at the number one spot. Think about it as a president. He wants to be the president, but he's the underdog because everybody roots against him because of a certain thing that happened and a certain thing that he contains. But regardless of all of that shit, he's pushing aside a lot to reach his goals, and you can't help but to root for him. Definitely in my top 10. You already see from the border that I have. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba. Yes, it's Demon Slaying. Tanjiro. He was just a normal kid, you know, chilling. Went off into the village real quick, came back, family just desecrated. The only one that's left is a sister who got turned into a demon. Realized, holy shit, demons got to my family, my entire, like, you know, my mom and like a couple of my brothers and sisters. Now I want to get the head demon, the demon that's the reason for all this shit. That's my goal. I'm after him. So very flashy, pretty colors. Nice little story though. Does it get boring sometimes? Maybe, but it's almost done. It's got like, I think they're doing the last bit of it in 3 movies. So that's interesting to see. Steins Gate, I'm confused about. Steins Gate has something to do with like time travel and like alternate versions of the same or like it's just time travel. I'm gonna have to rewatch Steins Gate again because I don't know. I couldn't get into it and I couldn't get it. I watched it and it was just like, okay, I watched that. Put it in the back of your mind. JoJo's Bizarre Adventures you're always going to hear because of A, the fashion choices that are in there are bizarre, but it works, and B, stands. You always see people do like the poses and shit like that, or they do like something else. It's because of that. And if you're up for like a weird but creative type of anime, then JoJo's Bizarre Adventure will work. Because what it started out with and the power system it had before started to change, and then it started to come into what we popularly know as stands, which is like your alter ego, but in like if I'm not mistaken, it's still something that has to do with like telekinesis or something like that, but it's just a physical manifestation that is made up of your like psychic energy that you got. Maybe I don't know that much, but I do enjoy it, and it isn't complete. So far, it's caught up pretty well to the manga. The manga is somewhat done, I think. I think the person just made like another like JoJo's part. This shit is expanding family histories too. So even to something like that, that's got like a not a complex, but like it just carries on to like generations of things. That's good. Dragon Ball Z is the OG, but I recommend Dragon Ball Kai because it will cut out some of the long ass shit. But if you're up for the challenge, then watch Dragon Ball Z. Okay, no Kai, just watch. In fact, I'm gonna put Dragon Ball up there. Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Man. Because then now you got Dragon Ball Super. If you want to see why it's got that hype, give it a watch. And Dragon Ball Z is where the hype came up. And honestly, that's because in America, we got Dragon Ball Z first. And then while it was showing, I think like midway or something, then they were like, oh, it's popular. Hold on. There's a show that's called Dragon Ball that takes place prior to Dragon Ball Z. Then that's when they showed that. So you kind of get to see the main character, the main character is pretty much Goku. But you see Goku as a kid and how Dragon Ball, why it's called Dragon Ball in the first place, and what stems from that. And then, why it's called Dragon Ball Z per se. Then you got Dragon Ball Super, and even I'll put Dragon Ball GT up there because it makes you appreciate some of the stuff that they did for Dragon Ball GT that I wish and hope that they bring over to Dragon Ball Super. And they had Dragon Ball Diamond come out with all these Dragon Ball themed things. I'm telling you, you're not going to run out of shit to watch. And watching that Super Saiyan transformation for the first time, I wish. Like I said, Mob Psycho. Vinland Saga was cool. Man, you want to talk about a nigga dedicated to revenge since he was a kid? And he's following the same nigga that it happens in like the first episode or two. So it did his father in, and the main character as a kid was following. He joined the band in a group of people that pretty much were responsible for his father dying, and was promised to have that revenge fight. So he be trying to challenge him every time. And he's like, listen, I ain't going anywhere. I'm staying right here. I'm going to do what I need to until you're dead. Until I'm the reason you die, nigga, I'm on your ass. And you, not only do you get like how far he's coming, what he'll do in order to get this chance, to get this guy, and how certain relationships flip. When you get to the second season, there's a change in pace of things like action and what the main character is doing even more, but you still get a good story out of it. Vinland Saga, again, is it in my top 10? No, it doesn't have to be. Like a lot of stuff, just because it's not my top 10 or 20 or 30 doesn't mean that it's not good. It's just there's so much anime that came out that certain things that affect me differently is the reason why it's up there. Jujutsu Kaisen, Gintama, I think it was just like a gag thing. I really couldn't get into Gintama, so I can't tell you much about it. But I what I've heard is like a decent amount of action. But Neon Genesis Evangelion, if you're ready for a mind fuck and just like a what the fuck did I watch, because I still don't get the ending like me, then Neon Genesis Evangelion. The opening, people definitely remember that opening. I don't know if I can put it in the top 10 openings. I gotta discuss that next. Ooh, top 10 openings. Damn. I'll try to figure out some way around that. But but the opening's good. It is a mech anime. So you like mech animes, that's up your alley. And on top of that, like I said, you want a little like brain rattler, like what the fuck does this mean? And this is one of the ones I will say, watch the sub over the dub, because the dub, a lot of times in anime, not so much now because they're starting to change it, but before, like older anime, because of certain things that were in there or certain things that were shown, certain way that words were spoken or mistranslated, the dub version, which is how it sounds in English, kind of fucks up the anime. So this is one of the ones where it's like, yo, just watch it in sub. I talked about One Punch Man, Bleach. I'm always gonna say Bleach. Bleach is fucking cool. You want transformations? You got weapon transformations. You got the main character kicking ass. Yes. Cyberpunk Edge Runners was fire. Good animation, a great story. The kid, or something happens to his mom, and it's like he wants to join in. And the lengths that he's doing it, like Cyberpunk, if you don't know about Cyberpunk is like the game is like a futuristic setting where you can augment yourself with technology to do certain things. And this character, like, not only does he augment himself, but you get to see like the effects of certain augmentations and like how far he's willing to go to do things, and how that whole story goes. Not a long anime, short. Bleach is a little. It's not as long as One Piece, but it got a chunk of episodes. And is back with 1,000 Year Blood War. You got time to catch up, I think. Fully Cooley was weird. But Fully Cooley 1 is only 6 episodes. I think the episodes are a little longer. I think. Nah, I'm bugging. I have to wait. Let me see the Fruit Baskets. I don't know about, but I think that's a Slice of Life, and Haikyuu I talked about. Let me go to Fully Cooley real quick, and then I'll have some ending notes on this because I'm at an hour. You chilling with your boy for an hour and 30. I'm trying to put you on some stuff. You know what I mean? Kick back, relax, and enjoy yourself. Fully Cooley. In the show, they tell you why they say Fully Cooley too. So that's always good. Yeah, 6 episodes. It was very short. They got like Fully Cooley Alternative and like Fully Cooley something else too that is like a different type of continuation. But it was just like, yo, I got memories tied to a lot of this shit. Okay, I got memories tied to a lot of it. So seeing a lot of these, I'm just like, dog. Like, man, y'all will never I feel like such a old nigga for saying that, but again, y'all will never understand what it's like not having access like that to the internet, how it is today, to find these sites that you could find to watch the anime. You only had a couple places to watch anime. And if it wasn't, you know, because now they were catching on, if it wasn't like Saturday mornings or like early as hell in the mornings, like a Cartoon Network or WB, you kind of had to wait after school on Cartoon Network because Toonami used to show in the afternoon. And Magoozy also for Cartoon Network. Disney Channel started showing some anime. Nickelodeon Channel started, I think they started showing like maybe 1 or 2 things. Mainly Cartoon Network. Saturday nights on Cartoon Network for a kid was equivalent to people going out on the weekends to the club. Like the adults going out to the weekend in the club, kids watching the Toonami run on the weekend. That always ended, and you know what it always ended with? Inuyasha. When you heard that song, dun, 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 dun. Everybody, that shit is embedded in the brains of, I'm 34, so people that are like 34, a little bit up, a little bit down in years from me, we all have that remembered because we watched Toonami. You would fall asleep to some Toonami. Like, yo, what show's coming on? I'm staying up for this. Or I can start to fall asleep. And you, for no reason, it's like an alarm that tells you, like, hey, you missed your Saturday night. Because that shit plays and it's just like, oh, snap. Like, damn, I fell asleep. I wanted to stay up for such and such. But that was the only way you was really getting anime. Then once YouTube came out and you get more and more access to good internet, not just dial up, like actual capable internet, then you could find these alternate sites, and pretty soon the streaming services started to show it up. But man, Fully Cool is one of those like weird ones that showed on there. Hunter x Hunter was on there, Full Metal Alchemist was on there, Death Note, Attack, like a lot of these was on there, Code Geass, and you had to wait. Again, you had to wait. It was 1 episode a week. So 1 episode every Saturday. So, man. Even me rewatching some of these, like, it takes me back, and that's what's good about certain animes, is it takes me back. So again, the ones that are often recommended: Cowboy Bebop, Attack on Titan, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Hunter x Hunter, My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, Haikyuu, Mob Psycho 100, Death Note, Code Geass. You start with those, you'll be all right, okay? So this is the end of the show. Thank you for sticking with me. It's like an hour and like hour and a half and some change. But thank you. You are the best around, no matter what anybody tells you. Again, you got to follow the 5 things that I try to live by, which is eat better. Eat better. Okay? Not go on a complete diet. Eat better. Drink your hydration sources. Water cool, but sometimes throwing some electrolytes in there so your body can absorb that. Okay, you need that. Mind your business. Some business you do have to get involved in, but majority of it you don't have to. So mind your business. Okay? Get to getting. Get to getting is like, yo, you've been working on something, get to it. You've been putting it off for a while because maybe you're scared or maybe you're thinking too much about what this person might think or what that person might think. Just do it. You're thinking about going to work out. You don't know kind of where to start, or you think you do, but you haven't even stepped to the get to getting. And last but not least, don't do the most. Don't, and you know what it is. Do not do the most. Some stuff like you just gotta like, if you're overdoing it, sometimes you gotta like, yo, jump, like, yo, stand back for a little bit. You know what? I'm doing the most. Let me not. In certain instances, doing the most is okay, but you'll know when. But listen, if you learn the art of not doing the most, I promise you, you'll live better. These 5 things I give you every time, like if you follow these, I don't guarantee a lot of things, but one thing I will guarantee is that you will live better. All right. You do the 5 things I told you, you're going to live better, especially with not doing the most. Because that's how a lot of people get fucked up out here. That and not minding their business, but especially not doing the most, okay? But yes, end of the show. Thank you guys for sticking around. This is Fly Guy Kai, a.k.a. the captain, a.k.a. the main character. And this was another bomb episode, episode 28. Look out for episode 29. Appreciate you always. Love you always. Bye-bye.